Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Wednesday, October the 30th, 2013, and here's today's After the Bell market summary video brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. I want to first start by taking a look to see how the indices closed the session out here for the day. The Dow closed down 61.5 points. The Nasdaq closed down 21 and 3/4. The S&P 500 closed down a little over 8.5 points. We take a look at the breadth on the market. Bears were in control today. We had 4,672 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the AMEX. We had 1,667 issues advancing on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the AMEX. Therefore, of course, again, breadth was in favor of the bears today. So let's go ahead and break down the charts. There's a lot of broad market selling across the board. Apple managed to close up 1.5% along with HPQ. Target had a good day, up 2%. We had some action in some of the oil and gas refiners, TSO, VLO. Some action in RRC, independent oil and gas company. Some action in the biotechs, GILD. Aetna, AET, even though there was a lot of profit taking going on in here in the healthcare sector. I mean, biotech alone, you had Celgene down 2.5%, BIIB, Biogen down over 2%, Amgen down 1%. So there's some broad market weakness across the board. We did see some pockets of strength though in some of the names that I just mentioned to you guys. So let's go and take a look at a couple of charts. I want to start off by taking a look at the Nasdaq today. Facebook came out with earnings after the bell, and if I take a look to see what that stock is trading right now, let's see here. Facebook. Let's see. Facebook is currently trading, well, closed at 49.01 and it's trading right now 52.17. It hit a high of 57.98, so it did go above the all-time highs, and now it's trading 52. So it looks like there's a reversal going on in Facebook. So are the Nasdaq futures getting affected by that? Let me take a look, see what the NQ is doing. What time is it? 5:25. All right, so the futures markets are not trading right now. They'll be open again uh, in a few. But right now, at the moment, looking at this Facebook, it is selling off from those highs. So let's go and take a look back at the Qs now. All right, so the NASDAQ 100 ETF closed down 8 cents, pretty much a flat day, but you can see we had a nice little gap up today in the markets and they faded it all the way down to close right in front of this 82.50 level of support. If we break below 82.50, you can look for the Qs to start making their way down towards 82 and this 81.50 level that we mentioned yesterday in yesterday's video. And again, if you guys aren't not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe because sometimes the YouTube takes a little bit of time to process the videos, and therefore I'm not able to post it on the blog until it gets processed. But when it does process, if you have a YouTube account, you can see it pop up on the front page of your stream for the YouTube channels that you subscribe to. So you may want to look into getting that subscription so we can have the videos go straight to your inbox. In any case, triple Qs, they look like they may pull back in a bit. All right, so 82.50, 82, then 81.5. If today's highs will be resistance around 83.50. Let's go and take a look at the S&P 500, the SPY. All right, closed down 88 cents. Again, they had the FOMC announcements today. The Fed decided not to do anything. A couple of highlights. The Fed says it will await more evidence before the QE taper. Fed says economy continue to expand at a moderate pace, and the Fed sees improvement in the economy even with the fiscal retrenchment. Therefore, they're going to keep QE at 85 billion. They're not going to do anything, and that caused the precious metals to sell off. Gold, which was trading at let's see here, my software froze up for a second. So you had gold, which was trading around 13.54 an ounce, sold all the way down to 13.34. So it dropped about 20 bucks on the FOMC announcement, along with silver, copper. Crude oil was weak today. Bonds sold off on that announcement, and the euro sold off, and the dollar shot up. So let's go ahead and finish breaking down these charts. So the SPY, again, we were able to get a couple of closes above this key trendline resistance. However, we could be forming a possible bull trap up here. What does that mean? That means we broke above the trend line. It's like a lot of people looking to buy equities up here. The next thing you know, they break us below the trend line. This will be considered a bull trap, and then we could get some downward selling pressure. We do have an engulfing candle today for today's price action, and then again, we're going to get some We should get some momentum selling once we break today's low, since this is actually a good sell signal right here. But again, there's no confirmation yet, so we have to keep an eye on this 176 level on the ES, and today's lows around 175.42, which also matches up with the 8 EMA. So the SPY sold down to the 8, to the rising 8 and 8 EMA, 8 SMA. We bounced right off of it, but again, we're going to be tracking those key short-term moving averages as a gauge for the momentum dying down the markets to the long side, and possibly some sellers starting to come in and take some profits or some downward price action, maybe to this rising 20-day moving average. Again, we'll see. So far, it's just 1 day of selling. We need some more follow through. As you can see, every time we get 1 day of selling pressure, they move right back up, move right back up, move right back up. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Taking a look at the IWM, the Russell 2000 small caps, the IWM was down $1.52 today, down 1.37%. You can see we closed below that range that we've been tracking for you guys here in the videos. All right, and if we continue to hold below 110, look for this to maybe come down to touch these declining 20-day moving averages. I'm sorry, these rising 20-day moving averages around 109.08 and 108.53. This is the SMA and the EMA right here. And it also lines up with our 50% trend line from the big channel. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, if we get back above 110, we can maybe make a move back up here towards 110.75, 110.50. But tomorrow, if we hold below 110 on the IWM, you may want to take a look at that TZA and see if you can make some returns there. At the moment, IWM looks like it's pulling back. It was the weakest index today. All right, let's go and take a look at that US dollar, which of course we've mentioned that it could get a nice little bounce because it was oversold coming into these little support levels down here from some of the trend lines, and it has been getting a bounce this week. So as the dollar has been getting a bounce, of course the euro dollar has been getting a little bit of selling pressure. All right, we're going to be keeping a gauge on these two currencies to see what type of price action goes on in these in the dollar and the euro, and then we'll take a look to see what action we get along the different asset classes such as the precious metals and everything and crude oil, and see if there's any type of correlation, inverse correlation. We'll see what's going on with that. But at the moment, the dollar's getting a nice little oversold bounce. The euro's getting a nice little sell-off from being overbought, and we'll just keep a track on this right here. Taking a look at gold, gold futures, they closed down $2.90 here. Again, they did hit a high today of 1359.60, and they ended up closing near the middle of the range around 1342.60. We're pretty much right now trying to break back inside this channel, or back above 1360. We have not been able to break above 1360 for the past 3 sessions, so we'll see. This could be a little short-term top. We may want to pull back in a bit here. If we do sell off in gold, a good level to look for some longs will be back around this 1310 level, which was a pivot that we made before we ended up breaking higher. So there are definitely some people that are long down here, so they may want to mark prices down a little bit to check this level right here, check the strength of those buyers. But right now, the gold's having some short-term resistance around 1360. If we take a look at the gold miners, which have been showing a little bit of strength, they did get some selling pressure today because my friend told me that Newmont Mining came out intraday and said they were lowering their dividend. So the gold miners sold off, but it looks like they recovered off those lows. Let me take a look at Newmont Mining specific. And Newmont Mining today, let's see, hit a high of 28.47, hit a low of 27.06, and closed at 28.04. So looking at the 5-minute chart, yeah, this thing was pretty volatile. So the gold miners, they sold off, and just like the GDX recovered, a lot of these stocks probably did the same thing. A little capitulation buy setup right here that worked out pretty well if you were in front of your screens to watch that. So Newmont Mining, I like how it recovered off the lows. They have earnings coming out this week on Friday. You can watch that. Let me take a look to see how GG reacted to that news. Again, I'm pretty sure they sold off too. Yeah, they sold off and recovered. So the gold miners definitely have some people that are looking to buy those dips because they wouldn't have bounced up that quick as those buyers came in to scoop up those cheap shares. So we'll see how they fall through going forward, since we have some nice bottoming tails from today's action on a couple of those names. GG, you can take a look at AEM, you can take a look at Newmont Mining, take a look at ABX, a couple of mining names right there. Let's go and take a look at Apple, some of these big cap technology stocks or momentum stocks that we've been watching here. Apple, again, did show some strength today after getting smashed down yesterday. Was able to gap up today and hold its gains pretty good. However, it's still inside of the big sell bar. Amazon, which has been showing some nice momentum. This one had some selling pressure today, down to $1.62, down 0.5%. Again, this one may need to wait for the moving averages to catch up for the price action. Right now, we will not be doing anything with Amazon. A quick look at Facebook again, which is trading 52. It closed at 49.01, rallied all the way to a high of 57 and some change, and now it's trading back at 52. So there's definitely going to be some action in Facebook. Maybe a little short-term top. As you can see, there's been distribution going on for the past couple of days. Again, spiked up to 57 today, then sold right back down to 52. That's how we're looking for. Still trading, of course, here for the session. But right now, Facebook may want to come back down towards this, I would say, maybe 46 here. We'll see how it plays out. But right now, it's been in sell mode for the past 7 sessions or so. So keep an eye on the Facebook. Netflix, another nice momentum stock that pretty much died out after its earnings. Still look like it's some sellers in here forming a little bear flag or a little bullish action off this big sell bar. Right now, Netflix, I would not be trading it. Just wait to see how it sets up. It has some short-term support around 310, short-term resistance around say 335, and right now it could chop around this range. So I would really wait till it gets a break and hold above 335 or a break and hold below 310. Uh, until then, it may trade in this little range. So keep an eye on that intraday range action on that stock. Tesla, a big recovery intraday yesterday after selling off. Gapped up a little bit pre-market, but was not able to hold those gains. It smacked it right back down, and it closed in the middle range of yesterday's bar. Looks like it wants to come back and recheck these lows. I'm pretty sure a lot of traders are long the Tesla with the stop versus its lows, and when everything looks too obvious, of course you like to go back and check those lows and see if they can shake out some weak hands. So I don't know. We'll see. Definitely Tesla's the momentum's kind of fading away here. Again, we did highlight this could be a little short-term topping head and shoulders pattern in play right here. So we'll see how that plays out. If it takes out yesterday's lows, you can look for a move down towards 147, 147.45. What other stocks have we been keeping a close eye on? So we looked at the Apple, we looked at the Amazon, uh, the banks and financials. They've been trying to catch a break, but they have not been able to. More or less, they're trading sideways to lower. Uh, oops, J&J. Didn't mean to bring up J&J. J.P. Morgan. Again, this one looks the most vulnerable for a sell-off, if any of them, out of all of them. You can see J.P. Morgan, big downward action here, forming a little possible bear flag in play. Keep an eye on this one. If it breaks today's lows, could make a move back down towards the 52 level and see what goes from there. Well, this has been trading the weakest out of all of them. Uh, if it breaks over 53.50 and holds, then it could make a nice move back up towards 54 and a little gap action up there. Goldman Sachs, again, this one's chopping around the 50% trend line of the big channel. If this thing could break over this 50% trend line with some nice momentum, its moving averages maybe push it through. We'll see, but it could have a nice little pop in the short term if the market is catching bid. The sector does look good right now. I would say it held up pretty decent today, but again, if it continues to bump its head against this 50% trend line and does not break above it, it could fade right back down, possibly back down towards the 158 level. Something to keep an eye on. Semiconductor stocks. We mentioned this in the blog yesterday on the Wall Street Trading.com page. Texas Instruments had a good morning start, but was not able to hold its gains. We actually call this one out along in the chat room after it made this nice little tight pattern, which you could see better on the 1-minute chart. All right, after it made this nice little, let me zoom in here. 1 second. So after it made this nice little tight pattern, I kind of gave you guys a bird's eye view so you can see what it actually did. It rallied up, formed this little downward type of bullish channel action. This is when we called it long around the 41.98 area. Yeah, 41.98. And it gave us a nice trade from 41.98 all the way to 42.30. Again, if you're looking for trades like this, nice little momentum, quick trades, you could join our chat room, mywallstreettv.com. To get the password to log in, you want to make sure you go to our website, wallstreettrading.com. Fill out the form on the right-hand side. So this one showed some relative strength, but again, was not able to hold its gains. Some of the other semiconductor stocks that have been looking pretty good, such as CLAC. Let's see what this did today. I did not get a chance to look at this one. This one sold off a bit today, but the dip buyers came in the name. Keep an eye on CLAC. Definitely looks like it wants to go higher. We have 3 nice bullish candlesticks right here. Just some pause action. May need to trade sideways a bit before it tries to march its way higher. What other names are we looking at here? GILD, biotech stock. Seems maybe one of the only green biotechs in the market today, so I want to take a look at the chart and see what it did. It's up $3.17. Looks like they reported earnings after the bell yesterday, and they did good, and they had some nice follow through. Let me take a look at the intraday action. So yeah, had some decent, had some decent action after hours. Popped up a little bit, but then the real momentum came in, say 5 minutes before the bell. This thing just took off, gave you a nice little momentum trade there. If you take a look at the 60-minute chart, it's kind of bull flagging right now from today's action. We'll keep an eye on this one for a move higher, as it's one of the better performing stocks in the biotech sector right now. What else? Am I missing anything else? JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. Let me finish going through these financials. Morgan Stanley holding the 50% trend line of the big channel. All right, if this thing breaks below the 50% channel line, look for a move maybe down towards that rising 20-day moving average around 28.61, 28.35. You know, we're really trying to see where the money's rotating to. We know that money's kind of moving out of the financials. Money was moving a little bit into the material stocks, but that doesn't seem to be happening this week. They look a little bit weak. Technology is a little bit mixed, so I'm really not seeing a sector that's actually leading the market right now. A lot of the momentum stocks are fading back a little bit or trading sideways. The home builders, which had some momentum earlier in the week and last week, they're really not doing much. They're really not doing much this week. They had a little pop up on Tuesday or so, but then they're just trading sideways. I mean, look at Toll Brothers. Okay, let me see how Lennar is doing. Lennar, let's see what this one did. This one, same thing, looks the same near the top of the range. And then you can take a look at KBH. Oops, not LKBH, but KBH. So KBH, let's take a look and see what this one did. And KBH, a little selling pressure today, so nothing much there. If you take a look at the ags, see how the ags are doing. CF, one of the stronger agriculture stocks in the sector. And this one, keep an eye on this one. They have earnings coming out on Monday. This one may give you a nice little pop up. It is showing some relative strength to the other names. And I believe Monsanto's the other one that's near the upper part of its range, trying to show some strength. Maybe pulled back a little bit today. I didn't look at this one yet. Then you have Monsanto, which gave the doji on Monday, that has been pulling back since. Watch the 104 level. Again, just really trying to see where the rotation's at, where the money's, what sectors are getting the money rotated into, and what sectors are getting the money rotated out of. TSO, good day in TSO today. Not sure if it's earnings related, but nice pop there. Looks like I held a nice bid down here around 47 for the past 4 sessions now. So keep an eye on this stock. Holding above 49 will be bullish on this one. And then you can take a look at VLO. Maybe some news came out in one of the names and it caused some buying. And the other, and now they're both looking good. Well, VLO definitely looks good. Keep an eye on VLO. They already came out with earnings. The stock's still holding up after the earnings announcement and looks pretty good. Looks like it wants to go up here towards this 43 level. Definitely keep an eye on VLO tomorrow. See what other names have we've been watching lately. Again, we already talked about the Facebook. The coal stocks made a crazy move today. Take a look at WLT. We actually were trading a little bit of this in our chat room this morning. This thing took off on the open and pulled back a bit. I like how they came out with their bad earnings report and the stock was able to hold up, with the market looking a little bit toppy up here and could possibly be in the stages of pulling in. We want to maybe step away from this WLT so it catches a little bit more readable action. Right now, you can see every time it breaks above 16, they sell it. Every time it breaks below 14, 60 or so, they buy it. So really trading in the choppy range now, but I'm starting to like some of the price action and some of the coal names. Keep an eye on that sector. The solars have been in play. FSLR, they've been experiencing some little short-term selling pressure, but they've been holding up pretty well. All right. Again, if they can hold up decent with the market pulling, that'll be telling you this is a sector to catch those nice momentum plays. We're watching for that right now. Again, they may pull in a little bit more as they've been experiencing some short-term selling pressure, but for the past 2 weeks, they've definitely been having some nice momentum. So we would be looking for some momentum buyers to come in these names once they pull back in a bit. FSLR, TSL. What else there? So TSL, again, looks like it needs more selling pressure. CSIQ, another name you could take a look at. Pulling, looks like it's consolidating right now. Then SCTY, Solar City, the one that a lot of intraday players like to trade, down 257 today. So keep an eye on the solars, keep an eye on the semis, and then one good energy stock that I like is Halliburton, which had a stellar day yesterday, but today a little new high, but paused a little bit. Was not able to close on the highs. So aside from that, folks, have a great day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the chat room. Take care.